Hi, I'm Angie. Welcome to RV 360 by National Indoor RV Centers, where we have all the details on the latest coaches. NIRVC is a trusted resource with RV lifestyle specialists who are here to help you find your dream coach. NIRVC also supports you well after the sale with storage, service, and detailing. So basically, we do it all. Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers, and today I'm so excited to show you the 2026 Entegra Anthem. Now, this is the 37K. I think that's why I'm excited, because I've never been able to do a video on the 37K, and I know I have lots of customers that are looking for this particular floor plan. So I'll go over the features of the typical Anthem, and then we have the 37K. On all the Anthems, you can get either a Freightliner or Spartan chassis, other than the 37K. That only comes on a Spartan. So just wanted to make that designation from the very beginning. But I'm so excited to walk you through this floor plan that's been very popular with Entegra, and I know lots of you are waiting to see this. Before we get started, I want to go over a few things with you. First of all, I love to do these videos. I hope you find them helpful and informative as you're doing your research. But as you're doing your research, you know what else you need to do? You need to call National Indoor RV Centers, because what I like to do more than doing videos is to sell you coaches. And I want you in the NIRVC family. We want to take care of you for the lifetime of your ownership, not just to sell you the coach. We'll take care of you for service. If you want to store with us, we've got paint and body, ceramic coating, wash and detail, you name it. We do everything. So make sure you give us that opportunity to earn your business. Please, please, please give us a call. Secondly, as we go through this coach, you may want to skip ahead. You may want to jump to the interior. You may want to see the engine compartment. I'm going to put everything in chapters so you can go right to what you're looking for if you don't want to listen to the whole video. But you will learn hopefully a lot of new things if you listen to the whole video. And then I love to get your comments. So what do you love about this coach? What do you love about this floor plan? What would you like to see? Or is there something that I missed that you want to learn more about? Let me know so I can improve my videos. And lastly, as you're shopping, I hear all the time, I watched your videos, it was so helpful, but we didn't buy from you because we lived in such and such a state. Well, we have 6 locations currently across the United States of National Indoor RV Centers. And guess what? We have a fly to buy program. So we will fly you and your significant other in to take delivery of your coach. So even if you don't live in the states that NIRVC is located in, we can still get you there. We can still do your service, because guess what? You're buying a home on wheels. So even if you're not in our same state, we can take care of you for service. You just kind of plan your trip around, a little visit to one of our NIRVC locations so you can get some service work done as you're traveling around this beautiful country. Now, I love this exterior color. I think it's gorgeous. I love the new graphics for 2026 as well. Now, you have 8 standard colors that you can choose from Entegra, and they have fantastic colors, but they will let you tweak it just a little bit. You have to stay with your same graphics, but we changed some colors on this coach. So this is a custom painted coach, and I think it turned out phenomenal. So I'm super excited about that. Also, just want to note that that stainless steel trim comes standard. That makes your coach look even better. I just love this. I love the white color on top, the skin, it just pops. Historically, one of my favorite things about Entegra is that they pack these coaches standard with pretty much all the features you want. When you place an order for an Entegra, you have about 5 decisions to make. It's really interior color, exterior color, your cabinet color. Like, it's really basic item, because everything else, it's standard. So one of those things that comes standard, so that is a feature I absolutely love, and I'm going to show you this when I'm driving. It's a game changer, folks. It's the 360 camera. Entegra uses 6 cameras to give you that high definition look when bird's eye view when you're driving. So you'll see that first camera right in the center of the top of the front cap there. Just above that, you're going to see your marker lights. Then we have this gorgeous windshield. Now, what I love about Entegra's windshield is that it wraps around the corner. So when you're driving, you just get this huge, beautiful view of the countryside. And I always say that your trip starts when you get in that driver's seat. You don't have to wait till you get to the resort. You get to enjoy this country the whole entire way with this big windshield. That's what I love about Class A diesels, and I especially love this extra big windshield. Now, as you come down into the windshield, you're gonna see this sensor here in the center. That is your rain sensing windshield wiper. That's the sensor for it. So that's another great feature. They're gonna automatically come on when you need them. And when you're driving these big rigs, it's really nice to not have to think about some of those things like where are the windshield wipers? Like they're just gonna come on, which is fantastic. And then look at the beautiful graphics that we have. I love Entegra that they've got their name here and it's always backlit. So we play this little game when we're driving down the road, like which coach is that? My kids are always asking to see, you know, if I can identify it from as far away as possible. Well, I can always identify it in Entegra. They just always look fantastic. And then they've got these sea lights. So new for this year, you can dim them and you can set them on a timer. So we have our AIM Club where we go to a lot of events and we have all, you know, types and brands of manufacturers that people come in their coaches. And our Entegra crew, they love to put their show off lights on. That's the sea lights. And some of our other guests might get, you know, a little annoyed by the sea lights because they're bright or they want them to come off. Well, you can dim them, like I said, and you can also set a timer. So if you want to say, I want my show off lights to go off at 10 o'clock, you can easily set that so you don't have to think about it when you know, are away from your coach or even when you're inside and you go to bed early. So love that feature. So great sea lights. And then right here in the center, we've got this sensor for your adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation, all right there. So that's not for your license plate and you don't want to cover it. Make sure you notice the beautiful chrome exterior mirrors. They are internally controlled and they do have defrost. Now the bottom convex mirror, you've got to have your co-pilot kind of help you adjust those when you're in the driver's seat that you get the right view. One of the things about these mirrors that I notice is that they're very much in front and on the front cap. Most of the time, a lot of the mirrors are over on the side. So if you look at them this direction, they don't extend much beyond the front cap. And then they're just a couple inches out. But what that does is when you're in the driver's seat is that they're right in your line of sight. You don't really have to look to the left or the right to see your mirrors. And with all the cameras, I do love the 360 camera, I just mentioned that. But my mirrors are always my saving grace. I always watch my mirrors. I just feel, I don't know, I guess I'm old fashioned. But I always trust my mirrors even more than any of the cameras. So really like that. Then we've got our first marker light. And then you'll see this first marker light on the passenger side. Now, one of the things I want to note that I do love about these marker lights, so you've got your front, your midship, and your rear marker light, the turn signal goes on here. And why that's significant is when you've got a car right here that's sort of in your blind spot, they can see that you're trying to change lanes or that you're turning if they're next to you. So it's a great alert for the cars that are driving on either side of you. Now, right in the front cap, we also have diamond shields, so that's going to protect the front cap of this coach, this beautifully painted coach. But I always still recommend, even with the diamond shield, when you get to your campground, get to your resort, take a garden hose, wash off that front cap, wash off your windshield, just makes them look amazing. But also there's just some of those pesky bugs that will still try to eat through. So I always recommend doing that when you finish a trip, when you get to your destination, wash off that front cap. Here's our first blind spot monitor for the passenger side of the coach. Now these blind spot monitors are also significant. You've got 3 on this side, so you're gonna be able to see down the full side of your coach. Plus there's one at the very end that catches your tow vehicle. And when you see the big monitor with the bird's eye view, you have a red bar that lights up when someone's in your blind spot. And again, it's one of those things that is phenomenal on this coach. You can really tell when you've got coaches in your blind spot on either side. It's one of those things that just makes driving it very easy. So here at the front door, you're going to notice a nice big window. Throughout this coach, you're going to have the dual pane tinted windows. And I just love the way they look, nice and sleek. Now on this front door window, something that's significant here is Entegra has a screen door, but you can actually put the screen in and then take it out. So I have it out right now. The reason I like that, as the co-pilot, as I'm going down the road, this is a much better view than having to look through a big screen. So I don't have to have that in there at all. When I get to the resort, I can go ahead and put the screen in and then I can use that screen door. Now at the front handle, we have diamond shield around the high entrance areas to protect the paint. So I like that chrome handlebar here, or handle, and then the lit handlebar here. And we've got several ways that we can get into the coach. Obviously our key, then you have the key fob, and then you have the keyless pad here. So you can make your own unique code. So the grandkids get to the coach before you do, you can let them in, or if you have a service technician that you want to let in when you're away from the coach for the day, say you're out golfing, you can let them in. And so I really like that. And then we have our first docking light, and we have the Entegra coach badging. Again, this doesn't look like it, but it lights up at night. That an Anthem is going to go red, and then you have kind of a white outline. So again, looks amazing. I love that Entegra is proud of the product. They want you to see their name, and you should be too. Then if you look up, we've got our porch light. We're going to have our entry door awning here that I'll bring out. That's Gerard as well. And then we have our second camera that contributes to that 360 view. Standard on the Anthem for all the 44-foot coaches is the 365s and the Michelin tires and a 20,000-pound front axle. Now on the 37K, since it is a shorter and lighter coach, Entegra went with the 17,000-pound front axle and a 315 for a better ride and drive experience. Speaking of front tires, there is a life-saving device that I think should be standard on all coaches. Luckily, you can get that at National Indoor RV Centers. It's called RettroBand. It's a run-flat device. When I say life-saving, I really mean it. I've had customers that have had a front-end blowout with RettroBand on that survived to tell us a story, and really the shocking thing is that minimal damage. If you've ever seen a coach that has had a front end blowout without RettroBand on it, I mean, the damage that it causes, if you get to walk away from it, is immense. So give me a call. I can show you pictures. But make sure that you give us a call. Watch my video on RettroBand, because it's a must-have for diesels, and I wouldn't drive a coach without it. So I'm going to go ahead and extend my Gerard awnings. You get 2 of them, standard on all Anthems. So we're just going to hit the 00. That means that both will come out together, or you can do one at a time, but typically, or one or the other, but almost 99% of the time I bring them both out. So check out that beautiful shade. It's a game changer because it's kind of warm today. So I love the Gerard awnings. They've got that extra pitch to them, the Nova pitch, so you get even more shade. And then I've got the app on my phone, so I can turn on the lighting, LED lighting on my awnings. Now a little awning safety. It's a beautiful day here today. There's a gentle breeze. I think it's fine, safe to have the awnings out because I'm around my coach. If I'm going to leave the coach, then I'm going to make sure I bring those awnings in, because you just never know what Mother Nature will do. An unexpected huge gust of wind comes up, and I've seen some bad things happen with the awnings. So I always just think it's great. Use them, enjoy them when you're outside and at your coach, but once you leave, make sure you bring those back in. There is a wind sensor on them, but again, I just always think it's better to be safe than sorry. Now that we've got our shade, let's go ahead and look at our big, nice 43-inch Samsung TV with sound bar, and it's going to come out and swivel and tilt. And that tilt is important because sometimes the angle of the sun will just hit the TV and then it's hard to watch. So that tilt is very significant. Now behind the TV, you have 2 available 110 outlets. So behind this front panel is your fuel tank. Now for the 37K, you do have a little bit smaller fuel tank. It's 122 gallons. On the regular Anthem, you're gonna have a 150-gallon diesel fuel tank. Then our next bay is going to be your fresh water tank. Now on this, they did not change the tank level. So you still have 100 gallons of fresh water tank, fresh water, just like you do on all your 44 foot Anthems. And they moved the freshwater tank up towards the top, front of the coach to give you more space in the back, more storage, plus I added a little bit more weight up here. So again, that's going to help with your ride and drive. Now this is your gravity fill for your freshwater tank. So if you are dry camping and you need to put water in, that's where you'll do it. Or if you want to sanitize your tank, that's where you would add those tablets. I also love that you get a visible view of how full your tank is. Obviously you're going to have the readout on your phone from the app and inside the coach, but you know, I just like to eyeball it sometimes. And then you've got some extra storage here. I've seen people put Velcro on this front area, hang some extension cords. So I know you guys are creative and you'll find a way to use this space. Midship, you have your marker light, plus that is the turn signal indicator as well. And then one of the things that makes this coach look so slick is that you don't have the handles for your baggage compartments. You have the push button opener, plus you have a backup. For some reason you lost power. When this is green, you'll notice that's green, they are open. When it's red, they're locked. But if for some reason you don't have power, you always can unlock it with a key. So I like that it's got that backup. Inside this compartment, we have our solar panel controller. You get two 200-watt solar panels, so a total of 400 watts of solar power standard on this coach, which is wonderful. Little spot where you can put your Girard awning controller here. And then you've got your resettable breakers for your house batteries. And if you happen to come in this compartment and you see the little yellow, that means that it's been popped. You just need to push that up and reset that. Down here, we've got two 110 available outlets. And then standard on the Anthem, you get the exterior refrigerator freezer. So that pulls out nice and far, well beyond your slide. So you're going to be able to easily get into there. And this is nice because you get to set the temperature. So if you want it to be a cooler for a tailgating party, it can just be full of drinks. But if you want it to be a deep freeze and take meat or ice cream across the country, fish, you can do that too. Now back behind the freezer refrigerator, you've got your inverter disconnect. So if we are not lucky enough to have you as a storage customer at one of our National Indoor RV Center locations where we store at least 300 coaches indoors, plugged into 50 amp service, valet service, if we're not lucky enough to have you storing with us, you want to make sure, if you are not plugged into 50 amp service, that you make sure all of your battery disconnects are turned off and that inverter disconnect is turned off so that you don't have any parasitic draw on your batteries. So if you look into this first compartment, it's a pass-through compartment. So I have a lot of people that buy the Anthem, take the refrigerator freezer out because they want that pass through and all that space, but this is still a usable refrigerator. So you've got the 12 volt, you can plug this into your car. So let's say you're going fishing for the day, put the cooler in the car, plug it in, it's good to go. When you get to the cabin, you can take it inside the cabin. You've got the adapter here so you can plug it into 110, use it while you're there, put your fish in it, whatever. And then when you go to leave, plug it back into the car. Now, what I'm saying is that this comes standard. Like I said, everything comes standard with Entegra. You can have them take it out of the factory if you don't want it, but you don't get any credit. So you might as well take it and use it. And it's pretty handy. So another bonus with this cooler is that it's got wheels. Now, if you notice, the handle is on the wrong side. So if you're trying to wheel this around outside of the coach, it's going to be very difficult. They did that because that handlebar would not fit on this side. But if you're going to remove this and use it, just unscrew the handlebar right here, screw it in over here, and you'll be good to go. Here's your midship blind spot monitor. And then our next pass-through compartment. So typically on an Anthem, you're going to have two powered pass-through trays. Since this is a shorter coach, you'll have the one powered pass-through tray. So I love this. You get a nice big tray. I'm going to extend it all the way so you can see how far it comes out. It's going to come out just as far on the driver's side. All right. You can pretty much get to everything. You can even get to the stuff that's on the driver's side. I love that. So on this tray you've got your Shark vacuum. So Entegra went away from the central vac You don't have to worry about that big long hose and everything now. Now you just plug this in to charge it only, and then it's cordless. This tray may need a little vacuuming a little later. Now also we have the screen door insert for your front door here. So you can just take that out and it's very easy to put right in. I love it without it. So until you're at the resort and wanting that fresh air coming in, leave it here. Another thing that comes standard, and I know this looks like a little thing, but this front lip that comes down, a lot of other manufacturers, I guess it saves a little bit of money, but they don't have that lip that flips down. It's solid. This makes it so easy if you've got something heavy and you just want to, now the vacuum is not heavy, but if you have a big toolkit that you need to slide off your tray, it's a lot easier to do. You don't have to lift it up over that lip. Another thing that comes standard on the Anthem are the powered window awnings. So this is great. You don't have to have that little tool where you're trying to get through, you know, like fish it through the hole and then bring it down. So I do love the power window awnings. And then right above that, you're going to have your passenger side security light. So you can turn that on and off from inside. So if you hear a loud noise, go ahead and flip that on so you can see what's going on outside. You can also set it so that it's motion censored and it will come on. So that's nice. And then right next to it is the vent for your microwave. So here's our second camera for the 360 camera view on the passenger side. And then we have our second docking light. More storage, and I need to do a little bit more vacuuming in here. Now you're probably wondering what's behind this panel here. Well, you can peek in there, or you can just take a screwdriver and just pop it right off. It's very easy. This is your equalizer hydraulic pump and reservoir for your jacks. So they just made it look a little bit nicer here. And like I said, just two little, you know, turns with the screwdriver. You can pop that off so you can, if you need to fill your hydraulic fluid, that's where you'll do it. So here is the dryer vent. And then we've got our last marker light and our last blind spot monitor. And again, that's the one that projects so that you can see your tow vehicle. Very helpful. And then this compartment obviously is very important. It's our chassis batteries, our power management system or fuses for the back half of the coach. And then we've got our chassis battery disconnect, house battery disconnect, jack pump disconnect. So again, when you're storing not plugged into 50 amp service, you need to make sure all those disconnects are off. And then we have our fuel filter and our air dryer. And then right here, we have the engine door opener. So we just press that and voila. So this is our beautiful 450 horsepower Cummins engine. We've got the insulated rear compartment here. A lot of companies don't do that insulation, so that's nice. And then I'll walk you through all these things. So this is our coolant. You've got the little view here so you can see that it's full. You want to make sure that's always full. If it's not, you want to make sure that your engine is cool when you go to take that off and fill it. Then right below that, we've got our engine oil fill here. Now, if you go across, you got the engine oil dipstick here. Yellow plus yellow means the dipstick, and then the fill is here. Don't put the engine oil in here. This is your Allison transmission fuel fill here and dipsticks. They're combined, they're together. And then right here, we have our hydraulic oil. This is for your power steering. Plus you have a hydraulic powered radiator fan. So that's nice because you can either run that fast or slow. And then there's a filter for your hydraulic oil, which is right down here, little white thing. And then right above that, you've got the, this is the noise that you hear when you back up. That shushing sound is right here. And then we've got our engine block heater. I always say if you are needing to use this, you're too far north and head to the south. Get to Florida. Here is your engine air filter. This is your air filter minder. So when that yellow line gets up to the red, it's time to change your air filter. And then you'll see it's really hard with the sunshine. There's a vented area here on the side of the Anthem. So the ambient air is going to come in through here, go into your air filter, then into your air cleaner, then into your engine. So check out the beautiful rear cap. I love the graphics again for 2026. They are on point. And then we've got our marker lights at the top. We've got our rear view camera. Again, that's going to contribute to that 360 view as well. And then the backlit Entegra. Love that. It's going to light up red at night, so you're going to see it coming and going. And then our high brake light. The sea lights, it just looks phenomenal. And then you get the 15,000 pound hitch with this 450 horsepower engine. So your hitch here, you've got your 7-way, plus you have the safe haul. This sits on the Spartan K2 chassis, and here is your exhaust. And then we get the lovely Entegra mud flap below. As I come around the driver's side, we've got our rear marker light, plus it has the turn signal in it too. I love that, or the turn indicator. And then our blind spot monitor for the back half of, well, really it's your tow vehicle. Then we've got our side radiator. So side radiator is great for a couple reasons. The first is the obvious. You saw how accessible it is for all your fluid changes, for maintenance on the engine. You can get to it easily. The other thing that Entegra has done is they've created these louvers. They look a little bit different than most other coaches. So again, they're trying to draw in that ambient air, so cooler air to go into your radiator fan so it doesn't have to work as hard. Now, as far as radiator maintenance goes, you can see the coils in here. You just want to take your garden hose and just lightly squirt those off and keep those clean. If you use something stronger than a garden hose, you're going to bend those little radiator coils, and you don't want to do that. So love that we have the side radiator. And then next to it, we've got our 15-gallon DEF tank. So you're going to probably fill this about every third time you fuel up for your coach, but you're going to have an indicator inside, so you'll know. A couple things about the diesel exhaust fluid is that it does have a shelf life, so of about a year. So if you're buying it and traveling with it, like say you're buying it at Walmart or AutoZone, just make sure you check the expiration date or mark on it when you bought it, and make sure you use it before that year period of time. It doesn't like sunlight or heat, so keep it out of both of those as well. And then we've got our 50 amp shore power cord here. So we can pull this out. I love that they give us the rubber grommets here, so we can just push that through there. Then I can shut the door, keep this compartment sealed so that no critters get in there. And then my other favorite part is that when I'm done, ready to break camp, I'm just going to use my automatic power cord there and pop that inside. You want to make sure you always tuck that in there. Inside here as well, we have the SureGuard power transfer switch. That's very important. Again, that comes standard. Now, I recommend, and National Indoor RV Centers recommends, that you have another surge guard protector. So we can either put one, to see if there's room for one in that compartment, this little bit smaller compartment, or you can have one on the end of your cord. It's extra insurance. It's just, you know, this will protect you one time. If you have the extra one, you're really protecting yourself most of the time from the resorts or the parks power, because it can, you know, it gets a lot of use. Sometimes they don't have the greatest connection, and that can cause a problem. So I like that, to have a little backup. First stalking light for the driver's side of the coach. And then if we look up, we've got our first camera for the driver's side of the coach, our second blind spot monitor, and right below that, now Entegra has really beefed up this door over the years. When I first started, it was a flimsy plastic door. I do love that they made that nice. There is your macerator hose. I like that it has its own compartment, so you don't have to worry about putting the dirty part in with the rest of the wet bay. In our next compartment, we've got the pass-through tray. So again, that's going to extend just as far as it did on the other side. When you look in here, you're going to see the Dirt Devil cleaning system. Now you're probably wondering what's going on, because I just told you they don't do the central vac. They still do the dustpan. And so that's huge, because I know I had a lot of ladies tell me they were really mad. They liked their central vac, but really what they liked the most was the dustpan. So you still have the dustpan inside. Now we have the driver's side security light. Again, you can turn that on and off or make that a motion sensor. It's really nice to have that though, if you have to plug in your macerator hose out here at night, that you have that extra light. Now here is the exhaust for our 450 diesel aqua hot. And you'll notice that they didn't go down on the size of the aqua hot. So you still have a 37-foot coach. You still have the same size aqua hot that you have in your 44, 45-foot Anthem. So I love that. So in here, we have the manifold system. So if you need to turn off water to a certain location, so let's say you want to turn off the water to the shower, you can turn that off here without turning off water to the rest of the coach. This is also prepped for a water softener. And then you have your low point, hot and cold low point drains. And you've got, if you hook up a hose here, you've got the little receptacle that you can run your hose through here. And again, keep this secure and tight from critters. So here we have our 450 diesel aqua hot. That's gonna be your on-demand hot water and your furnace once you drop below like 30, 33, 35 degrees. And you've got the screen here so you can just let you know the status of everything, and then your fuel filter for the aqua hot system, and then where you fill your propylene glycol here for the aqua hot. Then we've got our wet bay compartment here. So we'll start at the top over here. We've got our city water connection, and then right here, the lever for your black tank flush and then your gray tank flush. And then this is where you can retract your hose for your water. And again, you can thread that right through this grommet here. Keep this nice and secure. Your lever for your freshwater tank or your city hookup. And then we've got the light for this area when we're doing our work. This is the tilt button, which I actually love. So when you're going to empty your tanks, a lot of time you're not in the optimal position to really get a really good empty of the tank. So you can actually tilt the coach down up on the other side so that you have a better flow as you're emptying your tanks. And then your macerator button on and off, your gray tank holding valve T-bar and your black holding tank T-bar. And then you have your sea level 2 monitor so you can check your battery status, your freshwater status, your gray and your black, and turn on your water pump from here. So this is where you turn on the hot and cold water for your front spray port, and I'll show you that when we get to the front cap. Then your water filter for the whole coach. This is where you hook in your shower hose or connector so that you can wash off after you've been out hiking or at the beach all day. You've got hot and cold water here, and here this is the little device to change your water filter when it's time to do that. And I do love that they give you a spot for your soap, your paper towels, so once you've done all the messy work you can clean up. Behind this panel you can see that if you need to do a gravity dump, this is where you would hook up your sleeve just underneath the coach, and then you've got the hoses here for winterizing your coach. So behind this door is your diesel fuel tank, and you're pumping straight into the fuel tank. So that's really nice, because if you're at one of those high-powered pumps where you can pump like 30 gallons a minute, you can do that here. It will go right in there. And like I said, this is 122 gallon on the 37K versus a 150 on every other Anthem. Here is our last camera for that bird's eye view, high definition look when we get inside. Then we've got the badging that's backlit here, and our docking lights, last docking light for the driver's side of the coach. And we've got the exhaust here. That's going to be for our generator. You want to watch that exhaust, because when we extend the generator out front, if that's hot, you can easily clip your leg and really burn yourself. So you want to be careful. Here's the last marker light and turn indicator for driver's side, and our last blind spot monitor for the driver's side. In here we have the fuses and power management system for the front half of the coach. And then we have our equalizer system, which is our hydraulic leveling jacks. So you can just power it on here. Your ignition doesn't need to be on. It's going to let you know, you go to auto level. When you get 4 solid lights, that means you're level. If it can't level, it's going to give you an excessive slope warning. So you may want to move the coach, adjust it just a little bit, and try it again. Once you've tried it twice, if you get that excessive slope twice, then you want to give it a little bit of a break. You don't want to burn up that pump needlessly. You can also, when you're ready to break camp, just retract all. Jacks will come up and you'll be ready to go. If you need to level just the front or the back, you can do that. You know, take it off the auto manual and just do it individually. And then you can turn the light on in this compartment so you can see what is going on. Got a little storage spot there for miscellaneous items, and then you've got your generator slide extend. Now you do have to have the coach in accessory mode, and it needs to be aired up for it to work. So just press that and it comes right out. All right, so with the Anthem, you get the standard 10,000 watt Awning generator. You can option in the 12.5. If you want a little extra insurance and extra power, go for the 12.5. It's not that much to upgrade. So I like that. This is where you can reset the breaker if you pop that, and then you can start and stop your generator from here. Also, you can see your generator hours here. And right inside here is your oil dipstick and your oil fill for the generator. And then this is the coolant fill. Inside here, you've got your windshield wiper fluid. And then right below here is where you can hook up your shower hose so that you can rinse off the front cap and your windshield wiper. And again, that's hot and cold water. And then right around the corner, you can see your little wussy horns here. So back here, you have your AC condenser. What's great about what Entegra does is once it's gotten the Freon, it only has to travel 5 feet, not 37 feet. So you're gonna have great cool dash air as you're driving down the road. So I've loved showing you the exterior of the 37K Anthem. Let's go check out the inside. So right when I walk in the door, first thing I notice is I've got really strong, sturdy grab bars. So no worries about getting in and out of the coach safely. Plus, I've got a lighted step well as well. And this year for 2026, I noticed that they've added this little chrome edge on the steps, which I just think looks really nice. Right when I walk in, I see the main power disconnect for your house batteries. Then we have the step power. So once we get to the campground or resort that we're going to stay at, we want to turn that off so the steps will stay out rather than opening and shutting every time we open and shut the door. And then this is for the stairwell. Right above that, we've got a control panel for the interior master on and off for the lights, and then the passenger side security light, the driver side security light, and we can bring up the door shade, night shade and day shade. We can do the passenger side awning, driver side awnings, the rear patio awning, front patio awning, and door awning. Remember, those are powered, so I do love that. We've got controls here. We can go to we can adjust the brightness of our screen here, screensaver, cleaning mode. It's going to let you know what location we're at here, and then we can change the color of this if we'd like, and return to the main page. Right above that, we have the step cover, so that's for your step well. Once you're in travel mode, you want to go ahead and extend that so that no one falls in the step. Then we have the fire extinguisher. Now that's great. It's nice that it's by the front door, so you can get to it easily from the outside or inside of your coach. But this is a 37 plus, it's actually 38 foot coach, and I don't think that one fire extinguisher is sufficient. So you need to check out Proteng. It's a fire suppression system sold exclusively by National Indoor RV Centers. We only sell products that we truly believe in. It is activated by heat. You can get a custom quote today for your entire coach, or you can just do individual areas. Maybe you just want to do the engine compartment or the battery compartment. We'll do whatever you'd like, but it is a great way to protect your investment and your life. So as I step up into the cockpit, we're going to go ahead and go through our storage here. So the first thing up is our wine guard over-the-air antenna. So we can just turn that on and search, and it will lock onto local stations. Next panel, this is a redundant switch because we can take the slides in and out from our main control panel, but this is a backup. So you can extend and retract all your slides here. Then you have a backup for your AC too. For some reason, your control panel is not working. This is your AC override for your for both AC units. If these are turned on, they will stay on. So even if you turn them off at the panel, regardless of what you do, they will stay on as long as you've got them on here. And then you've got your Starlink power button here. Starlink is now standard on the Anthem. Again, another standard. That's why I love this product. For your satellite dish, this is where you power it and you can stow it. And then you've got one 110 available outlet, more storage. Our overhead front TV from Samsung, which comes standard. And then we have another big storage compartment here, 4 110 available outlets. And then we've got the Trimark programming switches. This is if you have to reprogram your key fob, you will use this. Otherwise, do not touch it. So here's your power control center. So you've got 2 legs that you're bringing power in on. Leg 1 is 50 amps and leg 2 is 50 amps. Everything in this box is going to be powered off the inverter. So when you bring in leg 1 and leg 2, 50 plus 50, you're actually bringing in 100 amps of power to your coach. Welcome to the beautiful interior of the 37K. I am super impressed with this floor plan. I really like it. I know it's a 37-foot coach. Actually, it's 38 feet, 2 inches. I know that Entegra brought this product out to compete with the New Air. For me, it feels a little bit more open than the New Air. Of course, it's a 3 feet longer, so that makes a difference, but I really like this. So new for 2026 is Entegra has given us much bigger windows. So I will open those up for you eventually so you can see how beautiful that is. Big windows make a huge difference. They also changed their valances, put leather in there. I love the changes they made. This is the beautiful almond wood with the pashmina interior. We have real leather on our furniture, and this is the Tacoma shadow tile floor. So one of the things, Entegra doesn't really do a lot of specials, but there are some choices that you can make. You can change out your tile floor like we did you can do a little bit of tweaking with your paint like we did on the exterior of this coach. So make sure you call us at National Indoor RV Center so we can walk you through, let you know what's possible. We want you to have the coach of your dreams. We will order exactly what you want if we don't have it on the lot. But so far, this one looks pretty perfect to me. So I turned both the co-captains and the captain's chair around. This gives you 2 more reclining seats in your living room. And so you can just kick back and relax, which I love that. And you have a great shot of your big screen TV, which is right across from here. I have it, it's on a TV lift, so you can't see it right now. I have the 2 110 outlets, and I have a little end table here so I can set a drink. So on this chair, you have the heated and cooled seats. Then you can adjust the backrest, the lumbar support, and then your footrest. And of course they go forward, backwards, tilt up and down. So really nice. You can get perfectly comfortable in your seat. So here in the living room, you have the option for the 100-inch sofa, reclining sofa, all 3 sections recline, or you can opt in for the 74-inch sofa with an end table on both ends. But I love this. It's super comfortable and powered. So not only the footrest, but so is the headrest. So I can get that to where it's just perfect for me, for maybe if I'm viewing TV or whatever, sit back and relax. I love it. For the center section, we have the reclining control is on the little remote. Then I have the TV on the lift across from me. So nice big 50-inch TV. And look at the size of that window. Headrest and then USB charging port. And check out the storage that we have above the living room seats. This 37K feels really open to me. I like the amount of storage I have. Put my arm in the back just so you can see. I can just barely touch the wall, so you can kind of see how deep those are. Nice and deep, no divider, so you can really optimize the use of that space. Then we come into this area, which is beautiful. I love the beautiful picture that they've given us. That's the whole thing about camping, is you get to see these kind of sites all the time. Then we have a storage drawer. And then we have our fireplace. So I do love the fireplace. You can turn it on with the remote. You can change the flame color. You can set the temperature. You can have it set to heat, which this is the fastest way to take the chill off your coach, or you can just leave it with no heat, so it's just ambiance. You've got the remote, plus you have the other controls right here. Before heading into the dining room, I want to point out the thermistor for this front living room area. That's going to communicate with the thermostat and keep the temperature nice and pleasant. And then we've got another control panel here. So for our front master lights, dinette, driver's side, sofa ceiling and front accents. And then we can control the shades and our settings button. And another end table here for the co-pilot's chair when it's rotated around. So the booth is the only option when you go with a 37K, but it is a nice size booth. I really like it. You can definitely get 4 people at the booth. You've got a nice front row seat to the TV, but actually it's the big window that I so love. And I do just love the leather that they put in the Anthem. It feels high quality, really nice. And new for 2026, they've added these receptacles that tuck away. So I just think that looks so nice. 110 outlet, 2 USB charging ports. You have the same over here on the other side. And then you've got storage underneath your booth seat. And the other thing I wanted to point out is that they've given you a nice sized table. So a lot of times the tables are so narrow you can barely get 2 plates across from each other. This is nice and wide, so I do love that. And then we have storage above. We have our matrix box so we can direct where we want the input to go, and our Sony Blu-ray DVD player. And then on this other side, we've got 110 available outlet, and then we have our cable inputs, our traveler receiver input, all in this cabinet. And to top it off, we have our nice sound bar here. Check out the Anthem with these beautiful big windows. And I want to point out that these windows open. So this is another emergency exit window, but this opens, and your big window across from your theater seating opens as well, and your kitchen. So if you want to be outside and enjoy that mountain air or the breeze off the ocean, you can do it in this coach. Then onto our kitchen. So I love the big wide walkway. Check out all this counter space. I love it. Lots of beautiful solid surface counter space, beautiful backsplash, and a nice big window. And I do love how they encase that in wood. So just the finish out is really nice. And you can open the windows. That's a game changer too. We've got 2 110 outlets underneath the cabinets there, and 2 more here. And then we've got the residential faucets, our sink covers, huge Blanco sink, and our induction cooktop. So your induction cooktop, you just need to have pans that a magnet will attach to the bottom of them. What's nice is they heat up really fast. They also cool down really fast. So once you take the pan off of them, they cool down right away. Just above that, we have the GE profile, convection, microwave oven, and air fryer. So I love that. You will be amazed. You can pretty much cook everything in these that you would at home. Beautiful loaves of bread, cookies. That's all I make. But really, I do love that, and I do love that they added the air fryer to it. Now in the kitchen area, you have an option. So it used to be standard that you had a dishwasher. I love that because I even used to tell my customers, you kind of had to have the dishwasher. It was sort of like the exterior TV. It was a must. But a lot of customers have been taking those out. They want the extra storage. So we did not put the dishwasher in, so you can delete the dishwasher. And when you do that, you get all 3 of these big drawers. So massive drawers. So that's a lot more storage in your kitchen if you can give up the dishwasher, if your significant other wants to be the dishwasher. Then we have the flip down, and we've got the little garbage chute there. And I've always loved how Entegra does this pull-out cabinet. You get a decent sized garbage can. You've got room for cleaning supplies here. We've got our Entegra little Bible there. And then we have a spot for our sink covers so that when we're not using them, they can be tucked away. And we're not done. More storage. Check out that. And I love the silverware drawer. How handy is that? That might be my favorite feature. Then we have paint samples. So love that they give us those in case you have a little boo-boo. It's pretty tricky to make it look perfect. Luckily, our paint and body crew can make it look perfect. So when you get in an accident, when you get that tree scrape, or if you want ceramic coating, make sure you come to National Indoor RV Centers. We can do it all, and you will be super happy. And another huge drawer, like how deep that is. Right across from the kitchen, we've got our pantry, pull-out pantry, so you can literally get to everything and see everything. Really like that. And we have another pantry. This can be for the kitchen, or you can use this as a linen closet, whatever you will like. It's adjustable shelves, take them out. It can be a little broom closet, whatever works for you. And then this is another impressive thing, massive refrigerator freezer. So not only do we have the water and ice in the door, huge refrigerator, and nice big freezer. Then you'll see this little device here. That is your refrigerator lock. You don't want this to fly open when you're in travel mode, and you've got one here on the side for the freezer too. Notice the beautiful ceiling treatment, the vinyl touch ceiling, and then Entegra did bring in their vents so that when your slide rooms come in, you still have full access to that AC, and you've got 2 AC units, one in the front, one in the rear. And you have a smoke alarm right above in the midship area of the coach by the kitchen to keep you safe. And you have a max air fan here in the kitchen as well as the bathroom. So a favorite is the dustpan. You just sweep everything over and it sucks it all away. And then we have our CO2 detector here to keep us safe. Thermistor for the midship. So this is your Victron controller for your inverter. This is going to give you a much better state of showing you what's happening with your inverter. So we're in absorption mode right now, but you can go through different screens to see what you want to find information wise, and that's really handy. Next we have our main control center or display. I love this. This is the Firefly system. So you've got your home button here. You've got your master lights on and off and your exterior lights on and off. It's letting you know what your front AC and rear AC are set to, and your tank levels. The water pump you can turn on from here. You can lock your entry door. You can lock or unlock the cargo doors. We're plugged into shore power. It's letting us know, and it's giving us our battery levels. Then we can adjust the entry ceiling, living room ceiling, or porch lights from here. And anytime you have those arrows, it means it's a dimmable light. Now, if we go to light scenes, this is kind of cool because this is where you can set up like a theater mode. So you can go to scene 1 setup. I'm going to go to my interior. I'm going to want the living room lights, the dinette lights, courtesy lights, living room accents, and kitchen. Let's say that. So I'm going to confirm my choices, and there's my scene 1 setup. So you can do that for different variations. If you like to come in, like right now, all the lights are at full brightness. So maybe you want to create a little softer atmosphere, you can go ahead and do that with your scene setup. Then we go to our electrical. This is going to let you know where our charge is coming from. So right now we are getting plugged into 50 amp shore power. It's going from the transfer switch to the breaker box to the inverter up to our batteries, and it gives our battery levels. We can also start and stop the generator from here, and we can enable the auto gen start. If we go to our electrical settings, this is where we can set our auto gen settings. So we can set up our quiet time. We can also set our triggers. So right now we've got it to start if it drops below 12.5, then it will run a minimum of 15 minutes. Also, it's going to show us our gen hours here. Then we can go to our lights. So this is just every single light that you can turn on individually, or you can do it by section. So the exterior lights and your interior lights. Your cool and heating here, so you can set on your AC, your heat pump, your aqua hot, or set it to auto. You can adjust the temperature easily right here. And let's say if you want to sync them, you can sync them together so they're exactly the same. Right here is your aqua hot burner. So if you want to have a A nice long shower, you want to go ahead and turn on your aqua hot burner. If you're just, washing a couple pots and pans or just your hands in the sink, your electric will be fine. Then you've got your engine preheat here and your aqua hot diagnostics. Your floor heat. So again, another standard with Entegra is floor heat, and you can turn that on here. And remember, you've got your diesel aqua hot. That's going to provide that floor heat for you. And then you also can adjust the temperature to your cargo bays. So that's great if you're traveling in colder weather. You don't need to worry about things freezing down there as long as you've got your temperature set correctly. Here are the controls for your overhead fans in your bathroom and then your kitchen. Slide room controls, it's always going to give you that warning. So one of the things with the slide rooms is you want to make sure you have a checklist before you bring your slides in and out, for outside the coach and for inside the coach. One of the things that people typically learn the hard way is their captain and co-captain seats. You've got to make sure that they're far enough up so when those slide rooms come in, you don't hit the chair and start bending your chair or breaking it. So when you get to this page, here are your slides. So you can extend and retract the bed slide, super slide, vanity slide, and kitchen slide. Then you have your patio awnings. So you can extend and retract those. And then you have your individual window awnings. Next up are the shade controls. So you have the shade control for the day and the night shade for each individual area. So you can press on an area and it will light up the different areas that you can take the shades down. So it makes it really easy. Day are the dark blue, night are the light blue. Then you go to your settings, you've got your network diagnostics, your screen brightness you can adjust here, aqua hot diagnostics, your favorites, so you can actually put favorites on your main panel, things that you use often. You can go back to those. Color themes, this is where you can connect your phone to this control panel so you can do most of the functions on your phone from that you can do on this panel on your phone. So you just scan this, you put in the PIN number, and then you create your own unique PIN number, but it's really nice to have that option. And then cleaning mode, if I want to clean off this screen, I want to go to cleaning mode so I don't activate any of the buttons. You can, customize if you want Fahrenheit or Celsius, and then it's also going to let you know which floor plan you're in. So let's step into the midship bathroom. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with this size. It doesn't feel small. I think it helps having that big window. Again, I love the big windows. And then we have this massive mirror here and a medicine cabinet behind it. And then we've got fuses here. We have the nice solid surface countertop, 2 110 outlets, and a hook here for our towels. Nice little backsplash. Flip down. More storage, and I like the open cubbies here with adjustable shelves, so lots of different items could go there. Then we have our porcelain Tecma toilet with a push button controls and another control panel here for lights and shades and fan, tank levels, and water pump. You can open that nice big window, and then we have the toilet paper holder. Love that we have a spot here to hang our towels, another spot here for towels. And this is the shower lock. So if you don't have a checklist, you can email me at Angie@NIRVC.com to get my list, and then you can combine that with your list. Checklist is really important when you start RVing. Another thing that might be helpful is watching my RVing 101 series. It's a 4-part series. We take a trip, I set up camp, I break down camp. Kind of helps you if you're just getting started in the RV lifestyle. I'm going to step into this shower. So it's 36 by 40. It's nice and big, like really big. I love the shower wall. It's very cool. We've got the flip down seat, so we can use that if we need to or not. Then we have the fixed head and the handheld, and we have the AquaView shower miser. Now this is one of the things I absolutely love. This is going to help you conserve water from your fresh tank and then not needlessly fill your gray tank. So basically what you do is you are recirculating the water while it gets hot. As soon as this bulb lights up, then you switch this to, there's little, it shows little water coming down, and then the water will come down. It will be instantly warm. You don't have to run the water while you wait for it to get warm. So I do love that. Great little device there. And then you have a little cubby for your shampoos and conditioners. And You also have the skylight. That's for our taller friends. Makes it so nice and big and everyone fits. As I come into the master bedroom, I want to note that we have a privacy door that closes, and then you've got a full mirror on the bedroom side. Walking in, we've got the king size bed. This year new, we have the leather headboard, windows on either side, and nightstands on both sides, along with huge storage with two 110 outlets in the back. There's no divider, and that is a super deep space. I can't even begin to touch the back. So I'd probably get some big plastic bins that I could slide in and out of there so I could get to my contents. So underneath the overhead cabinets in the bed, we've got another control panel here, so we can adjust the entry. We can lock and unlock the entry door. We can turn on the lights, the master lights on and off, and then we have the ceiling accent reading overhead cabinet, bed, and the courtesy lights. And the blackout is to black out this whole panel so that you can sleep at night, that it's not shining in your eyes. And you can adjust the shades there, go to your settings, and then I'll just black this out. And Entegra is one of the coaches that gives you a ceiling fan. So you've got the high and the low setting for the ceiling fan. You have the nightstands on both sides of the bed. You have two 110 outlets on either side of the bed, and then storage. We have the thermistor for the bedroom area, and then we have another control panel for lights. We can black this panel out as well, and our shades. Now let's check out the storage. So we've got this classic storage that gives you two big compartments on either side, both with adjustable shelves. We have the Sony Blu-ray DVD player, and then all of our cable inputs and HDMI input. Our nice big 43-inch Samsung TV, and then you just push these two levers together, and then you have access to the storage behind the TV. You have this safe and one available 110 outlet. Nice big area here. This is going to be your emergency egress window. Two 110 available outlets. And then let's check out our drawer space. So we have the little drawers underneath. I like drawers. And sound bar for your TV. And I'm glad I saw those remotes because I forgot to tell you that this is like a Sleep Number mattress. Sleep Number no longer makes beds for RVs, but it's the same idea. You have the air bladder, plus you have all this cushioning around it, so it's a really nice, comfortable sleeping mattress. And you have storage underneath your bed. Another standard is your washer and dryer, Splendide. And then we have our nice big rear closet. So wardrobe bar, storage above, and access from either side. And then a taller wardrobe area here. I always like to show the floor plan with the slides in. So it does get a little bit tight going back to the bedroom, but you can get your bedroom. You can get in your refrigerator and freezer. Obviously, you can easily get and have full access to the bathroom. You can open your cabinet here and pull out your pantry. Be working at your sink. So make note of this. Entegra did increase the walking space from the 2025 models to the 2026 models. So it is quite a nice space to walk in. So we're finally to the cockpit area. I went over the chairs a little bit earlier. They're super comfortable. I remember heated and cooled. That's the main thing. I love that. And then powered, and all your controls are right here. Get them just right. And then to move your armrest, there's just a little slit in here that you put your finger in to adjust the armrest so you can be perfectly comfortable. Over here to my left, I can adjust the column, the steering column, up and down, and I can tilt it away from me or towards me. I can start and stop the generator. my battery boost button. This is where I tie my house and my chassis batteries together. If I ever come back to my coach and say I can't get my engine to start, I want to tie those together, try to start it. If it doesn't start, I want to tie them together, start my generator, let it run for a while, and then try to start my ignition. So it's a day saver, that's for sure. And then we have our dome lights, which are directly above me, our cup holder, a spot for your cell phone, our transmission controls, so reverse, neutral, and drive. And then we can go into mode here. We can go into economy mode. And then if we go push them together, we'll get our oil life reading, and we can click through that information. Just above that, we have the charger for our USB for our phones. And then below we have another USB port and a 12-volt receptacle. Our park brake, so you pull to apply and push to release. And then we have our auto running lights, our headlights, our daylights, or we can turn those off. And then we have our halogen fog lights. So here are your hazards. So you just pull those out, and then the easiest way to get those off is to just put your turn signal on, and it takes those right off. So here's your turn signal. And then you can flash your headlights here as well. Then you come up on the steering column and you can answer a call or hang up a call. This is where you turn on your engine brake, and then you can cycle through high, medium, or low. Okay. Here you can turn on your radio. This will mute it, and then you've got your volume controls here. This is where we can flash our headlights. If a trucker has passed us and we want to let him know that it's safe for him to pull into the lane, we can just flash that. Then our marker lights are over here. So if he's let us know that it's safe to pull into the lane, we can thank him by flashing those 3 times. Over here is our cruise control. So turn it on here, and then you can set it here. This is where you cancel it, and then you can increase your speed or decrease your speed while in cruise control mode. Here we have our screen view. So while you're driving, if you want to throw up your GPS on the screen, you can do that, or you can toggle again, and you can throw up your cameras. So that's nice, or you can just keep your miles per hour up there and your RPM up there. Then you've got your home button. So if we go into our home, it's going to be information right down here and our trip 1 information, and then we can scroll through it. Trip 1. So we have our tire pressure monitoring system for the coach, and then we can also attach it for our tow vehicle. Easy Steer is our computer aided driver assist. So if I click in here, I can decrease the effort or increase the effort, and then I just select OK to keep it right where it's at. Then you've got your suspension leveling here, so you have the air leveling, and we're in travel mode. If I press OK, I can have my options here, so I can auto level, or I can do a high ride or low ride. Then we have the accelerator position, and then messages, adaptive cruise control, it's disabled. I can press OK, and I can decide where I want the distance, long, medium, or short. Brightness on my screen, my settings. So I can go to my TPMS. So you have your pressure and your temperature, and then if you go to TPMS configuration, now you can go to your tow config and your tow type, and then now you can pick what kind of vehicle you're towing and add that in. Then we go to our nav zoom, so we can adjust how we see that. Zoom 1 or 2, 3. Our wiper sensitivity, our sound volume, and our units. Service reminders, screen position. So if you want to move it up or down or up, you can do that and then lock it in so you can see it. Your ATC is your auto traction control. You just always want to keep that on. You can override it if you're in like mud or on ice. And then you've got your diagnostics that you can go through. Then you have seek and source for your radio controls to find a station. Over here, again, we can flash our marker lights. And then we have the auto on and off for our windshield wipers, high and low, and our windshield wiper fluid. And then here's where we can turn our air horn on or off. I always want to keep that on. Then we've got our ignition. So here we have our big tower. I love this because I've got my rear view camera and then my 360 view. I can also click into this so that I can go to a full screen of my 360 view. Or I can exit that. And I can go to just my rear zoom if I want to see that. And then these are all the other options that I can look at. If I want to just look at the side of the coach, the front of the coach, all those options are right there. Now as I go down here, I've got my audio. So now I can go to my source. So Bluetooth, USB, radio, XM, radio, my climate controls. So the captain and the co-pilot can adjust their AC and heat as they please and where that airflow is going. Then we have our shade controls for the front cockpit area. So you just select which windows you want to control, and then day or night, and you take them up and down. Your controls here, this is for your exterior mirrors, so you can adjust your exterior mirrors and turn on your defrost. You can tilt the steering column and telescope the steering column and adjust the pedals forward and backwards. So this is a quick button for your GPS. Then we've got our leveling system, so we can go into travel mode, manual, auto, our jacks. We can lower all, we can raise the control, or we can do each individual one right here. So that's a really nice feature. Love that. Bluetooth connect our phone, control the lights for the dome lights, the docking lights, the badging light, and our accent lights. This is where we can set that time for our badge lights or our seat lights to go off, our interior master light on, and our exterior master light on and off. So then we have our utilities. So we've got the temperature of the house. We can adjust that from here, from the driver's seat. We can unlock or lock the entry door and the cargo door, turn the generator on and off, and you just have to touch it. You don't have to hold it. And then turn our auto gen on or off, and then we can extend the slide cover. That one you do have to hold. Then you can go to your settings. So this is what you can throw on your TV above you. You can put your navigation out there, or your cameras, or nothing. Then your Bluetooth, your settings, your brightness, you can adjust that there, or you can reset it all. And these are just quick buttons for your airflow, your volume control. You can turn it off. Your fan, AC and heat controls here, and the direction of the airflow. Little extra cubby here for you. Here in the co-captain seat, I've got the same controls as I had on the captain seat. I'm just going to go ahead and put that footrest out so I can get nice and comfy. I've got a cubby space in front of me here. Over to my right side, I have a cup holder. I have a control panel here for music, shades, the volume, temperature, lighting, and settings. And then right behind that, I've got the USB charging port and an HDMI port. And then I have two 110 outlets. Go ahead and extend the step cover once you're in the passenger seat so that no one will fall on the stairwell. So now to my favorite part, it's time for the test drive. So I really do love driving Class A diesels. It's one of the funnest things. If you've never done it, you need to come to National Indoor RV Centers and give it a try. A couple of things that people are afraid of when they first drive is, of course, the size and the length. But your turning point, that's one of the things that you really have to be aware of, is the center of your front axle. So it's really behind me. So I'm going to put my nose out a little bit further than I'm comfortable, because we're not used to doing that in our cars. And then that's when the center of your front axle is at the turning point. That's when you start your turn. You have great mirrors, like I told you. You can see, I just watched my rear tires. You can see if I'm going to clip a curb, And you have time, as long as you're not going too fast, to stop and adjust. And that's one of the things that I think is super important. Never be in a hurry. That's when bad things happen. So take your time. You're bigger than everyone else there on the road. Go have fun. And like I said, look at this. This is your view. So this is where the journey begins. So let's go ahead and get started. So you can see I have a great view of my rear camera and then my bird's eye view. You're going to love this when we're on the freeway. The other thing that I can do is I can make this, I can go to a full screen. So literally I can have backseat drivers in the kitchen. See that? I'm going to keep it there for just a minute so that when I do have that blind spot indicator come on, you can see the red bar that will alert me that there's someone in my blind spot. Do you see the blind spots letting me know there's a car? And now I'm past it. I love that. All right, so we're on our way. I absolutely love it. Entegra is the quietest riding, best handling coach on the market today, period. That's been their tagline, but guess what? It's pretty much true. They are very nice and quiet. I'm going to do my decibel reader here in a second when we get on the freeway, and you'll be able to judge for yourself. Now I can also watch my lane placement. You want to hug the left side of the lane that you're traveling in. Everything bad happens on the right. Road debris, street signs. Guess what? Those tree limbs, they can be costly because that beautiful paint job that I showed you, they'll scratch it. They'll really put some big marks in it. Now, if that happens, come to National Indoor RV Centers. We have paint and body experts. I like to call them artists because they truly are. They can match your paint. It will look better than it did when you brought it in. I mean, it will look better than new. So they're fantastic. I've got a little video on that. Feel free to go watch that. As I was saying, Class A diesel, they are so easy to drive. When I first came into the industry, we all had to drive a coach home from an RV show. And I was like, oh, I want to get one of the gas coaches because it's a little bit smaller. And everyone's like, no, you want a diesel. They're so much easier to drive. Well, guess what? They were 100% right. They are easy to drive. They are, once you get used to the size, and that doesn't take long, you're going to love it. So I'm traveling 70 miles per hour. I've got my dash AC on, which you can't hear at all, and decibel reader is 63. So that is super, super quiet. Feels like I'm in a car. So now I'm at 65. I've set my cruise control. Now I get to truly sit back and enjoy the journey. Love this big windshield, love my mirrors. I can literally glance at my mirrors and they're right in my line of sight. I don't need to, it's not distracting at all. I love it. And then I've got my collision mitigation. You know, if I get too close to the car in front of me, it's going to automatically slow me down, just like it does with your adaptive cruise control in your car. I'm telling you, this is a great way to travel. I mean, who gets to sleep in their own bed at night? In a luxury condo? That's what I like to refer to these beautiful coaches as. You've got your luxury condo on wheels, so you can be at the beach one week, you can be in the mountains the next week, you can be in the desert, all from the comfort of your home. You can make your own meals if you'd like, or go out, but really the bonus is not having to pack and unpack a suitcase, and being able to sleep in your own bed. So this is a cool thing that Entegra has, this screen view button. I can see now my coach right in front of me. If I don't want to glance to the side, I can push it again. I can put my navigation right up there in front so I know exactly where to turn or where I'm going. I love that. And then we have Easy Steer too. So Easy Steer is a computer aided driving assist. So I can decide if I want a little bit more. I like the steering to feel nice and tight when I'm driving down the road, so I take it up really high. If you're in a Walmart parking lot trying to make a tight turn, take it all the way down, and you can steer this easily with your pinky finger. If you're considering coming into the RV lifestyle, if you don't know a whole lot about RVs, or even if you've been RVing for years and you want a new one, if you are thinking about buying a new RV this year, I have the event you must attend. It's a no-brainer. It's called the Music City Motorhome Expo. It's in Lebanon, Tennessee at the Wilson County Fairgrounds. It's always at the end of May, very 1st of June. And basically we introduce all the manufacturers' new 2026 model year product. It's right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. Check out, look, National Indoor RV Centers right there. We put on the Music City Motorhome Expo. So we wanted to give our guests a VIP shopping experience when they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and making huge decisions. This is something that people have saved their whole entire life for. They've been working their entire lives. Now they're retired, they want to do this, or you're getting a head start and you're doing it early. But you really want to know what you're buying. So the Music City Motorhome Expo gives you that opportunity. You get to see all the new model year product, plus you can test drive every coach that we have on display, or any coach that you are interested, which is a game changer, because test driving, that's when you really get to know, wow, what do I want to drive? What do I exactly want? And it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run, because you end up buying what you want and you don't make the mistake of maybe going smaller, or maybe doing, just changing your mind based off that you just don't know everything that you don't know. We give you the opportunity to figure that out. We have the product engineers, the product designers there to help answer and ask questions. So your ticket price includes your meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, food and drinks, entertainment at night, and best of all, the ticket price is refunded back to your purchase, and that's for an entire year. So come to the expo. If you don't find exactly what you want at the expo, we will either order it for you, you get exactly what you want, or maybe you want to look for something used, or maybe you want to look for one of our consignments and you want one of our RV lifestyle specialists to watch what's coming in for you. You have a whole year to get that refund back to your purchase if you attend the expo. So it's basically free. It's no brainer. We also, for the 2025 expo, we'll be refunding if your travel expenses up to $2,000 if you buy a Super C or a Class A. If you buy a Class B or a C coach, travel expenses up to $1,000. So, like I'm saying, it's a no-brainer. Make sure you come. Give us a call today, or go to musiccitymotorhomeexpo.com to get more information and register. So the other great thing about National Indoor RV Centers, we actually want to spend time with our guests and our customers. So we have the all-inclusive Motorhome Club. So this is a club, and the club gives you service discounts, storage discounts, but it also gives you opportunity to come to some of our rallies. And these are rallies that aren't like other RV rallies. They're basically like a cruise in your coach. So you come in your coach, we're going to take care of your food and your drink, your entertainment. You're going to be with our other guests and customers that can give you it's so much great to connect with new people, make new friends. And if you're new to RVing, it's the best way to learn a lot about the RVing lifestyle from the experts, the people that have been doing it for 10, 15, 20 years. So check out aimclub.org to see the cool places that we're traveling this year, and to look at the discounts that you can get when you join. Now, when you purchase a coach from National Indoor RV Centers, you are an automatically enrolled for the year. We cover your membership dues, and it's just a great time. So aimclub.org for more information or to join. So with this 450 engine, it's a breeze to drive. I can keep up with all the cars. It's nice and smooth and quiet, but the only way for you, and it stops on a dime because I about missed my turn. The only way for you to truly know what it's like to drive and experience a Class A diesel is to come out and do a test drive today. So you come to one of our locations, National Indoor RV Centers. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a fly to buy program. So if we're not in your state or not near you, we can still help you find the perfect RV, and we will fly you in for your delivery, you and your significant other, one-way ticket, and then you get to hop in this and take off and go see the country. I hope you've enjoyed my tour today of the 37K Anthem. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how much this gorgeous coach will cost you. Well, current MSRP is $776,858. Make sure you never pay MSRP. Make sure you give National Indoor RV Centers a call first. Remember, with our volume and economies of scale, RVs simply cost less at National Indoor RV Centers. Plus, we want to make the buying process super easy. We can finance these beautiful coaches for 20 years, so we'll help you with financing. We take in trades, we sell consignments, we basically do it all. So make sure we are your first call. We want to have you as a customer for life. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you check out my RV in 101 series, our RettroBand video, and our AIM Club video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous day.